So, for example, one of the things as a restaurant manager that you need to know is, do I have enough product on hand until my next delivery, right? So, typically, quick serve restaurants get deliveries anywhere between, kind of 2 and 4 times a week. Whatever the products that come on those particular delivery trucks. We've got great software that helps you kind of do, suggested ordering and all that kind of fun stuff. But, sometimes sales, doesn't track with what the forecast is. And so to sit down and say, hey, I don't get a delivery for 2 more days, let me look up what I have on hand. Let me look up what my forecasts are. That would probably take a manager, a couple minutes to sit down, away from guests, right? So they're taking time away from serving their guests in their restaurant, which is what they really should be doing. And they've got to run a couple reports to get the answer to that question. Do I have enough chicken, for example, to last me to my next delivery? Now with Coach AI, you can actually ask it. You can say, do I have enough chicken until my next delivery? And in a couple seconds, it comes back and says, yeah, you've got a 99% probability based on what we see to doing that. And it's as quick as that, right? And so that is an efficiency gain that now that person can say, hey, let me check it. Now I'm back to serving my guests, or I'm back to helping my people serve my guests, right? So that's a great example of one of the things that Coach AI can bring to bear from a reactive perspective.
Well, and I'm an old school marketing guy, and so I think of it from a marketing angle of if you run a promotion in market somewhere, and I always think I'm outside of Philadelphia, and the Phillies have a deal, I think, with Chick-fil-A where you get a free Chick-fil-A sandwich every time the Phillies win, or something along
Sure.
those lines, or donut or something.
Sure.
How could you ever prepare for that? You got to know the schedule, and this is worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
But you got to factor in the schedule, and then you got to figure in the win-loss ratio, and all these factors, day-night games. But on a more practical standpoint, I imagine that these large corporate entities, see sales going down, might run a promotion at the last minute, and then say, hey, on Saturday we're running a 2-for-1. If you want to participate, it's a great opportunity. We expect a 12% lift. And then you're like, do I have enough chicken?
Correct.
Yeah.
No,
so
you're
just from
exactly
a marketing
right.
standpoint, and I can't imagine not having this type of system, to do what you're talking about would just annoy me, because I'm worried about, the grease on the kitchen floor and Bob who just quit, not, dumb corporate's marketing program.
No, you're absolutely correct. It's funny that you mentioned the Phillies, one of my prior lives, I was a chief information officer for the Atlanta Hawks at State Farm Arena. So I did that for 4.5 years. We had a deal with Chick-fil-A. We're in Atlanta; it's the home of Chick-fil-A. We had a deal there with the Hawks where we called them foul shots, FOWL.
There you
shots, like the bird. And in the fourth quarter, if the opposing team got foul shots and they didn't make both foul shots, they missed both. Same thing happened. A sandwich, coupon got, a card or whatever got handed out at the end of the game. But I mean, to your point, right? Like, I think what's going to happen is today, marketing campaigns, they're starting to transform. We're seeing the transformation already. But, especially as AI continues to advance, it's going to be able to let us do hyper local marketing campaigns to specific restaurants, right?
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to, specific groups. Like, for example, if you start to tie all these systems together and you've got the back office that says, hey, maybe sales were a little bit lower than you expected them to be, and you've got, too much inventory on hand, how do we then pull that all the way through to the loyalty platform to say, hey, let's send out a push notification that, for the next, 24 hours, 48 hours, come by and it's a buy one, get one free or something of that nature, right? So you start to pull that through based on the intelligence that you have on hand. And not only do you have to think of that, you could potentially say, hey, Coach AI, look out across the marketplace and see if I've got things that are that I need to take some sort of action on in order to do that, right? Do I need to create marketing campaigns? Who should I target? Who's got too much inventory on hand? Who doesn't have enough inventory on hand that should participate in this particular thing so we won't hit their people? I think that hyper local stuff will continue to progress as we see this thing happen. Which is